just fart. It's Friday. Friday morning. Oh, and it is cold. Single digit weather. You know how you know it's really cold outside? You don't even have to look at your thermometer? When you go out in the garage and you open up the door and all the warm air begins to immediately condense and fly out as a fog out the garage door. That's when you know it's really effing cold outside, okay? Because I watched that happen today. I think it's like 6 degrees outside this morning, and oh. And speaking of that, the 7th is almost upon us. Pearl Harbor Day, and sadly, the day that war between the whore and the sea will start, or whatever, or the war between the land and the sea, whatever you want to call it. Fish romance or whatever it's going to be. We're going to give it a watch. Um, the problem is this: realistically, it depends on the numbers of sea devils there are, because considering the ocean makes up the majority of our planet, and a lot of the oxygen we breathe and all that comes off of organisms that breathe on the top of the on top of the ocean. Also, there's I can't remember the name of the stuff, but it'll hit me in about a year. Not to mention, there's a lot of food that comes out of the ocean, and well, they're calling themselves Homo Aqua. Like I said, it sounds like the name of a bottled water for gays. Not to be insulting to the gay people, just that's what it sounds like, Homo Aqua. Because homo, if I remember right, some claim it's Latin for human. If I remember right, it means same. And like I said, we use it as a classification for all the various species of man going back God knows how many years. But now we're going to call reptilians who've grown out of the sea Homo Aqua. I'm like, they're nowhere near the Homo genus. So why would, but well, look at the genius who came up with this shit. Unfortunately, yeah, they're going to kiss at the end before the lady whatever wakes up and realizes, oh, wait a minute. I put out a poisonous venom when I kiss. And oh, well, poor fella. Yeah, they have a baby named Poppy. Or even worse, they name their firstborn Nemo. Oh, where's our child, darling? I don't know. I'm trying to find Nemo. Okay, you see, that's the thing that pisses me off. Why would they have human faces at all? And well, we have to give the actors things to emote. Okay, I can understand that. It did work with the Silurians, especially since they gave us Madame Vastra and whatnot. But they were supposed to be creatures that evolved in a totally different genre, a different species. I mean, they're not supposed to look like us. Ugh. Okay, so Kate Stewart's calling him the Aqua kind. Oh God. So if I go home tonight and fire off some knuckle children, I should call them the knuckle kind? Oh God. Oh, hey. I'm not kidding. It's just all this stuff's getting ridiculous. Here's the problem. If RTD really did have much to do with anything in the writing of this thing, I'm kind of worried right there off the top of the bat. Right off the bat. Because look at how well he's handled the finales for the main show. And now he's trying to pull off a 5-part miniseries. Now, I know Pete Macheeg had a lot of writing in this, so that's what's kind of giving me hope for it. And Yeah, but we've had humans playing different types of aliens before, and they didn't have to completely rearrange their face to do it, to make them look more human. Yeah, they used gillyweed, yes. Oh, we're not supposed to mention that Harry Potter stuff. Well, at least not the author, because she's evil now. Oh, goodness. I'm dying laughing at all the people, jumping on J.K. Rowling's so evil bandwagon. It's like, just because she doesn't agree with an ideology doesn't mean she's evil. Gosh, I wish people would get off that already. Ugh. But meanwhile, yeah, we're coming up on that. Like I said, Fallout coming on the 17th, Series 2. That's the one I'm really looking forward to. And I'm dying laughing because all the hardcore New Vegas fans are throwing baby fits. Oh, they're going to ruin my character ending for the guys. They have canon endings for everything going back to Fallout 1. If you look at the Fallout, I think, Bible or whatever it was one of the big production things. They give you a canon ending for everything, and it's nowhere near half the time what the character's playthrough ended up being. So, well, the thing is, everybody does this. They'll say, such and such should be the new showrunner of the show, and then they immediately turn on them. Look at what they did with Moffat. Moffat is so brilliant. Oh, yes, he's taking over the show. It's going to make my testicles tingle with joy. And then they turned on him. I have never watched Everybody Loves Raymond. I was never a big fan of any of that type of comedy. It's not my big deal. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out why people think Seinfeld is funny, okay? Especially I'll die laughing. Well, such and such was dating young women. Well, Seinfeld, when he was 39 years old, was dating a 17-year-old high school senior. Look it up. This is not fiction. It's fact. Yet nobody batted an eyelid. Nobody so much as said, huh? I'm not kidding. There's pictures of them together. A high school senior, 17 years old. Ugh. Yeah, at least Patrick Stewart waited until he was in his 70s before he married somebody who was half his age. No. Well, the thing is this: does Pete Mateague want the job? Look at what we've done to our past few showrunners, folks. Chibnall stepped in and he did everything that RTD and Moffat didn't. He made the Daleks scary again. He made the Cybermen scary again. He turned the Centaurans back into soldiers, which is what they were. And then, of course, he gave us Power of the Doctor, which is what the 50th anniversary should have been. Not that Error of the Zygons, Dump of the Doctor, look at my muscles bullshit that we ended up with. Where he made the Zygons into total morons. No, he gave us Power of the Doctor, which is what the anniversary special should have been. It should have been what the 60th anniversary should have been. The 60th anniversary, triad, whatever you want to call it, I'm like, huh? So let me get this straight. Because you poured some salt at the end of the universe, magical supernatural forces have been unleashed. And oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Power of the Doctor should have been the 60th anniversary special. Because it nailed it. It had past Doctors in it in a way that was conceivable and believable. It had past companions in it in a way that made sense. It didn't overload. And it told a damn good story. And I'm sorry, but I still sit there and watch people touch themselves in funny ways over, Day of the Doctor. And I'm like, folks, when you sit down and actually think this through, it is the biggest pile of horse shit I have ever seen. I've seen piles of bullshit bigger when I watch the Hoof GP videos, okay? Uh, if you're not watching the Hoof GP, I recommend it. I don't know why, but it's kind of calming. But okay, guys trimming cow hooves in Scotland. I like that. We need to get back to basics. Jodie's got too many companions. I'm like, guys, Hartnell had 3 companions. Peter Davidson had 3 companions. Can we just keep going back down the list here? They can't unwrite canon history like that. And I'm like, guys, what? There was no canon history for most of the beginning of the show. Hell, Gallifrey didn't get a name until like the end of the 3rd Doctor's reign. Regeneration wasn't named until the very end of the 3rd Doctor's reign. Well, the thing is, a lot of that, you see, what pissed me off more than anything about the Angels Rake Manhattan was, you can't say the rape word. Oh, I said it. It was because Karen Gillan wanted her character to go away in a way that couldn't easily be, the Doctor couldn't just come back and see her, but she didn't want the character killed off. And so they came up with that bullshit fixed time, crap, just to do that. And the first ending should have been when she and Rory jumped off the building. That's where it should have ended, right there. I'm sorry. And then they fixed time and all that, but they ceased to exist or whatever, and the Doctor remembers them. Boom. Not this 4 or 5 tacked on endings with, that stupid scene at the end. Oh, Doctor, and she gets zapped by the Weeping Angel, and then the Doctor and River just magically leave the Weeping Angel standing there in frickin' New York with no resolution. That's right, folks. That Weeping Angel is still hanging out in a cemetery in New York somewhere. I think it was New York. And they don't, they just left it off. But nobody cares. We got the big cry at the end. Well, yeah, I don't think they should have been brought back at all. I still cannot fathom why they wasted 5 episodes bringing them back when I think the ending they got was the perfect ending. Yeah, when the Doctor first dropped them off, I agree with you. That should have been it. But if you're going to drag them back, don't make this. Oh God! And I'm like, the Weeping Angels have taken over an entire city. Why? Because they can. Oh yeah, the Statue of Liberty became a Weeping Angel. But there's like 5 million people living. I went and looked this up. The population in New York in that era where that all happened at the beginning, there's like 5 million people living in New York. But the freaking Statue of Liberty can just take a stroll through downtown like it's Ghostbusters 2, and nobody's going to notice. It's like, I know it was a jump in place, but shit. But like I said, just nobody's perfect. That's what I'm trying to say. And like I said, if Pete Matigue has the courage to take the job, here's my first piece of advice for you, Pete. Turn off all your social media. Go find a bunker somewhere in the middle of the ocean. I'm talking maybe an abandoned oil rig. And then submit your scripts via, like, top secret submarine or something. Completely turn off the outside world. Because I guarantee you, the first time you do anything that slightly offends anyone or they think is not canon, they're going to turn on you just like they did everybody else. I can see that now, yeah. The Weeping Angel took a stroll and wiped out, a couple of traffic stops for old people. Traffic, a couple of intersections. What happened to them? Don't know. Looks like something stepped on them. Hey, Henry, check it out. Look at Vinny over there. He's got a big toe impression to his back. Oh, well, I got to get going. I'm way over time. But whatever you do, enjoy your weekend, okay? Keep that in mind. We've got that coming up on Sunday. Please be kind, be calm, be safe. Omega Files sometime next week. It'll be Friday or Saturday. We'll get together live and we'll discuss it. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you all on Monday morning. Have a good weekend.